A previously unknown drone boat known as a USV, an Uncrewed Surface Vehicle, appears to have evaded Russian Navy patrols. The device was discovered on a beach near the key Russian Navy station in Crimea, Sevastopol. It becomes more and more likely that the tides are turning and Ukraine is getting the upper hand. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay on top of the latest news about the latest developments in the world of warfare. With that out of the way, let's get into it. The bespoke vessel is compact but functional. It is propelled by a single inboard motor that drives a steerable water jet. This implies a reasonably high performance. It is designed for speed, and such a little vessel, around the size of a kayak, would almost certainly have a negligible radar signature, which seems like a tactical decision. There are several sensors along the top. The main one is a mast-mounted camera and a forward-looking infrared device of some kind. This is almost certainly the primary sensor for steering and situational awareness. A flat antenna is visible behind the camera, which could be used for navigation or communication. A smaller camera or sensor appears to be mounted forward at the bow. The bow has two forward-facing sensors. So what purpose does this device serve? A possible role is an explosive boat. There are multiple signs which point towards this being the case. Photos do not show the interior of the device, so there is still some uncertainty. But its curved shaping with external reinforcing suggests a warhead, possibly an air-launched bomb or artillery shell. Going further, a theory is that this device is designed to ram another vessel and detonate on impact, like a modern interpretation of an explosive boat. This also explains the cluster of sensors at the bow. Presumably, the Ukrainians were taking it for a test drive to see how the potential of this explosive vessel is. Explosive boats are not new, and they have occasionally had great successes. This design, if that's what this is, seems inherently sensible. They were pioneered by the Italians in World War II and are still used today. Most recently, in the Red Sea, the Iranian-backed Houthi movement has used remote-controlled ones with some effect. And its appearance on a Sevastopol beach suggests that it has the range to be useful as well. However, the craft recovered would be the first reported appearance of such a device in the war in Ukraine. This is the equivalent of a drone, patrolling the skies coming from above and also remotely controlled thousands of miles away. This is somewhat on a smaller scale, but can be arguably very effective if they evade detection and can cripple the Russian Navy. Russian social media posts suggest that two of the unusual vessels may have been recovered from the beach. Photos published the same day show an explosion off the coast, possibly indicating a controlled detonation of a USV craft. This news comes at the same time as we have learned that the Russian Navy is pulling back out of Sevastopol. They have pulled back their attack submarines and relocated them to a base 170 nautical miles to the east, according to UK intelligence. The Ukrainian forces have staged several successful strikes on Russian assets in the Crimea region over the past month, including a large-scale attack on the Russian Naval Air Base and several drone strikes on the headquarters of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. All this adds up to the rumors that Russia was overestimating their naval presence and dominance, clearly backing down because of taking some huge losses, perhaps to rethink their strategy. UK intelligence reports that Russia backed down because of the increased long-range strike capability of the Ukrainian forces. The large-scale attacks began in April when one of the flagships of the Russian fleet, the Moskva, was attacked and eventually sunk by two Ukrainian anti-ship missiles. Ukraine has made the right decision by betting heavily on drone-like capabilities, having great successes with Bayraktar TB2 aerial drones, which are made in Turkey. Fun fact, these specific drones now have a 3-year waiting list, as the rest of the world have seen their effectiveness. it seems like the industrial war complex is running over ours, and the weapon manufacturers are the ones that are ultimately winning in the long run. Ukraine has been dubbed as an experimental playground for new technologies, which can be tested on the Russian forces, proving that war is the mother of invention. As stated previously, Ukraine understands that it's outnumbered and outgunned. Because of the help of the Western countries, it has its hands on the newest technologies and developments the war machine has to offer. This is also a downside. The United States has supplied Ukraine with 5,000 Javelin anti-tank missiles, which were abandoned because of a poor hit-to-miss ratio, range, and major malfunctions. Raytheon, the producer of these Javelins, had some internal documents leaked on Russian social media showing that not all of the supplied weapons by the West will help Ukraine win this war. All in all, these developments show that Ukraine can hold their own, of course with major backing from the West. The uncrewed surface vessels are, as we speak, most probably being picked apart by the Russian Navy to find out how this could evade their radar systems. We're most curious to find out what we are not being told and which technologies are now deployed that we do not know of. Follow us to find out more, and see you all in the next video.